Howdy y'all, I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you guys are safe and I hope you guys are healthy. Out here in Mount Charleston, not too much of an outdoorsy individual, but I actually wanted to test out and see if these boots are actually suitable for the cold. I got a pair of bunny boots. I don't know if whoever saw them on my Instagram live, but well, let me show you guys. It's out here about, I think it's about 40 degrees out here in the mountain. A bunch of snow and stuff. Bunny boots are supposed to be waterproof and super insulated with wool and stuff, and I just wanted to see if it works out. So far, so good. Oh! Whoever made this snowman did a wonderful job. They gave the snowman cheeks. It's so wholesome out here. Please don't hit me with a snowball. It's so wholesome. Wait, dude. Come on now. Poor bees. This dude's seen better days. I gotta say, these bunny boots are doing wonderfully out here. You're good. I look real short. Wait, hold on.
Oh my god.
This is fall, exclusively on Shady Radio.
Can I steal the sled?
Are you recording?
Yup. That's a tree.
Alright, back from the mountain. This is the boot I wore. Did absolutely amazingly in the cold, and I actually have some corrections to make. I had mentioned this is a bunny boot. This is not a bunny boot. This is a Mickey Mouse boot. This is the predecessor to the bunny boot, which is the white version. This boot actually did wonders in the cold, and this particular boot is actually graded for down to about negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit. I had a wonderful time with this, and there are a couple of reasons as to why. But before I get to those, the information that I got is primarily from a video from someone who kind of focuses their channel on boots. So Rose Anvil, check out that video. All the information you could ever need on this cold weather boot particularly. But this boot is almost entirely made of rubber and is insulated with wool. So wool and rubber are the only two materials that make up this entire boot. It is seamless, so there are no kind of little holes that water can get into, and this did so well. My foot was completely warm, and even if there was like a little bit of like snow that got into the top, like between the break of my pants and the boot, my feet didn't really even get cold, simply because it doesn't even get cold inside of the boot. The inside is insulated, and although my foot got wet, it didn't get cold. And I mean, if it were like, you know, in the negatives and even colder, it probably would have. But this boot really held up amazingly well. And so this boot is made of, like I said earlier, rubber, and there really aren't even any seams or little like pieces. This is kind of like a one-piece construction rubber boot. You can kind of see where like there's little like panelings. Those are all kind of like rubber melted together. As you can tell, there's like random instructions throughout the boot. And this right here is if you're going up into the air in an airplane, kind of relieves the pressure as far as I'm aware. Right over here, this says keep double laced. Over here, it's just really cool. It kind of reminds me of like, I don't know, like the placement of some Off-White stuff I believe may have been maybe directly or indirectly inspired by something like this, but absolutely amazing. Functionality wise, did perfect. I got my true to size 9, over in the toe area. Super bulbous, super like spacious. Another really cool feature about this boot is if there are any holes that are a result of like friction or anything like that, you can just patch it up as if you were to patch any other like rubber thing or like a tire. But yeah, all in all, this boot did wonderfully. It was actually very comfortable. Traction, I mean, there's the tread pattern right there. It did all right. It was really just one of the best winter boots that I could get for the price that I paid, really. So I actually got them online, and might have been eBay or something, but I got them for $30, which I was super happy to get. Now, is this the most practical thing for me to own in Las Vegas? Absolutely not. It does not get very cold here whatsoever, and I honestly think that if I lived in colder climates, it'd probably make more sense. But just for the history and just kind of for the purposes of this video too, this was seriously a fun boot to experiment with. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but this boot was originally made around the 50s, around the Korean War, which is even cooler. Like, so there's just so much that goes into this particular boot that I really wanted it in my collection. I've been really on a vintage military kick, and as you can tell from my last video about the history of military clothing as references for high fashion. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Sometimes, honestly, these can be so bulbous and ugly looking, but in like the best possible way. It's exaggerated, but exaggerated for a purpose, and there is just something so special about something so utility driven. Another quick little aspect to the boot itself is that since the upper is made of primarily or entirely rubber, super easy to clean. Soap and water gets everything off of it. There aren't very many things that kind of soak into the upper material itself, and so a very hardy boot just in general. For styling purposes, I think that this is better worn with pants tucked in to kind of just show the full extent of the boot itself, and that's where it's most practical and functional, is when the boot is allowed to kind of exercise its uses. That's practically all I have to show you guys with this pickup. I really appreciate your guys' time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was definitely a blast to make, and I actually really enjoyed kind of getting this in hand and being able to wear test it in the snow. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate your time, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.